Hi and welcome to my YouTube channel. At the beginning of 2025 I started a series of videos about the Yocto project and Open Embedded on Raspberry Pi 5. Now it's time for the 5th episode. So far I have been building Linux distribution and images based on the long-term support release of the Yocto project called scarpgov. This is a release that is going to be maintained until April 2028. In the previous episode I showed you how to switch the bootloader on Core Image Base to the open source version U-boot, and we used U-boot version 2024.04 that supports Raspberry Pi 5. Now we're going to follow up and I'm going to show you a little bit more advanced topic and because I want to demonstrate how you can modify and edit U-boot environmental variables from the Linux user space. If you have watched the previous episodes, you know the required hardware: Raspberry Pi 5 single board computer, Raspberry Pi debug probe for serial UART communication, a USB-C power supply, a microSD card from which we're gonna boot our image, and of course a personal computer, in this case my old ThinkPad laptop. Although modifying U-boot environmental variables from Linux user space is an advanced topic, thanks to the existing integrations in the Yocto project and Open Embedded, it's very straightforward how to enable it. So in this video we're gonna write a single line of code and we're gonna spend the majority of the time demonstrating how it works and also explaining how it works. I'm going to use the same build environment as in the previous videos, so I'm going to modify local.conf and add a single line in it. So on the personal computer that I'm using as a build machine, I'm entering the directory where I previously built Core Image Base. I run the source command to initialize the build environment, and after that, using my favorite text editor Vim, I made a modification to conf/local.conf. This file already contained several modifications that I did in the previous videos, so I added a single line to the end of it. Through append to image install, I'm going to include in my image u-boot-fw-utils and the U-boot environment. I save the changes to local.conf, and after that I run bitbake core image base. Keep in mind that in the previous video, episode 4, I already used the rp use u-boot variable to enable u-boot, and I also downloaded the meta-LTS mixins layer with branch scarpgov u-boot, which provides u-boot version 2024.04. This version supports Raspberry Pi 5, and using this additional layer I have integration of this u-boot version for Yocto release scarpgov. Because I have previously built Core Image Base, this is going to be an incremental build and it's going to be significantly faster compared to the first time when I built Core Image Base. The modification that I did is relatively very small. To save your time using the power of video editing, I'm going to speed up the build process. On my build PC, I'm using Ubuntu Linux version 24.04, and because scarpgov, the Yocto release that I'm using, is tested on previous Ubuntu versions, there was a warning. However, it's harmless in this situation. I rebuilt Core Image Base, and now as usual it's time to flash it on a microSD card and boot it on Raspberry Pi 5. Let me quickly assemble the hardware. I'm going to plug the microSD card with the new image that I've built into the Raspberry Pi 5. I'm going to attach the Raspberry Pi debug probe. This way I'll have a connection between the Raspberry Pi 5 and the laptop. And finally I'm going to power on the Raspberry Pi 5. This ThinkPad laptop is also with Ubuntu 24.04, and on it I'm going to open a terminal. Inside the terminal I'm going to run the screen command with baud rate of 115200 to observe the output coming from the Raspberry Pi while it boots, and I'm going to interrupt u-boot. In the u-boot shell, I'm going to execute two commands that were covered in my previous video. Printenv without an argument outputs all u-boot environmental variables. After that, using env set, I'm going to create a new variable hello with value world. Using the printenv command with an argument the name of the variable, I verified that the value has been correctly set.
Now pay attention, I'm not going to execute the saveenv command that saves the U-boot environment. Instead, I'm going to directly type in boot. This command will boot the Linux kernel and our custom Linux distribution. After that, I've logged into the Linux user space as root without a password. So now inside the command line prompt of our Linux distribution, I executed the command fw_printenv. As an argument, I provided hello. This is the name of the variable that I want to check. As a result, I can see that the value of the variable hello in the U-boot environment is world, just as I have set it in the U-boot shell. fw_printenv is a simple Linux command line tool for printing the environment of the U-boot bootloader. It works the same way as printenv in U-boot shell. However, fw_printenv works from the Linux user space. If you want to check the value of a particular U-boot environmental variable, just provide it as an argument, as I did, for example, with the hello variable.
Let me demonstrate you how you can modify U-boot environmental variable from Linux user space.
In this case, I'm using the command fw_setenv. The first argument is the variable name and the second argument is the variable value. The first demonstration is to change the value of the hello variable that I previously created. The second demonstration is to create a new variable called foo with value bar. If you paid attention, early on in the video, in the U-boot shell, I created the variable hello with initial value world. However, I didn't execute the saveenv command, which saves the U-boot environment to the FAT partition on the microSD card. Instead, I typed in boot in U-boot shell, so I booted the system and I had access to these variables, including the hello variable that was not saved on the FAT partition. But now when I'm using the fw_setenv command, I'm not only setting the new value, but I'm also saving this to the FAT partition on the microSD card. So this value and variable will remain even if I reboot the board. Here's a closer look at the terminal. After I rebooted the Raspberry Pi 5, I interrupted the U-boot, auto-boot, and now I can check the values of these two variables. As expected, the value of variable hello is world2 and the value of variable foo is bar. Everything works as expected, and this proves that we have successfully set the U-boot environment variables from Linux user space on the previous step. The tool that I use to modify the value of the variable is called fw_setenv. It accepts two arguments. The first argument is the name of the variable and the second argument is the value. This is a simple tool for modifying the U-boot environmental variable from Linux user space. It relies on the configuration file /etc/fw_env.config. This tool sets and saves the value of the environmental variable. Back in the terminal, I would like to show you the content of the configuration file fw_env.config. It points to /boot/u-boot-env. This is the file on the FAT partition on the microSD card, which stores the U-boot environmental variables. This configuration file also contains device offset and environmental size. And because we have access to this FAT partition, using the cat command, I can show you the content of this file.
Modifying U-boot environmental variables from Linux user space is important, especially if you are implementing software update solutions such as Mender, Rauch or SW Update. And as you can see, thanks to the existing integrations in the Yocto project and open-embedded, it's straightforward how to enable this feature. However, let's spend some time to explain how it works.
Recipe lib u-boot-env from layer open-embedded core that's included in Pocky, the reference distribution of the Yocto project, contains tools and libraries to read and modify U-boot environment. It provides hardware-independent replacement for fw_printenv and setenv utilities provided by u-boot. Lib u-boot-env is a project written in the C programming language. The source code is hosted in GitHub, and the project was started and nowadays is maintained by Stefano Babic. Let's have a quick look at the recipe. u-boot-env provides u-boot-fw-utils. This is what we've included in our image install append line in the local.conf. As I've already mentioned in the previous video, we used the meta-LTS mixins layer to get U-boot version 2024.04 in Yocto release scarpgaf because this version of U-boot supports Raspberry Pi 5. The U-boot recipe requires the u-boot.inc file. In the source code of this file, we can see that the U-boot recipe also provides the package u-boot-env that we used in our local.conf file. Through this package, we install the /etc/fw_env.config file. However, the values inside this file are hardware specific, so we have a specific version of the file for Raspberry Pi 5. This is provided through the BSP layer meta-raspberrypi. As you can see, in layer meta-raspberrypi, we have a bb-append file that extends the U-boot recipe. Through it, we install the fw_env.config file specific for Raspberry Pi. We have three settings in this file. First is the device where the U-boot environment is stored. However, for Raspberry Pi, we're actually using a file on the FAT partition. After that, we have a device offset and environmental size. As I already mentioned, this is very hardware specific, so if you're using different hardware from Raspberry Pi, it will probably need different values.
Thank you very much for watching this video about modifying U-boot environmental variables from Linux user space. I hope it was an interesting experience. And although the Yocto project and Open Embedded have a steep learning curve, a lot of work has been done in the past years, and now it's significantly easier to enable such, I would say, advanced features. And as you can see, you can do this with a single line of code. If you're interested in other topics related to the Yocto project and Raspberry Pi 5, please leave a comment below to suggest them. I already have a plan for the next few videos, so if you like this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and stay tuned for new videos. See you soon!